Good morning. Hello, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, everybody. It's Friday, May 29th, 11 a.m., and welcome to the Business Connects Meet the Members Live. We have episode 10 today with one of our members, Elena Sanchez. And oh, by the way, I'm Jen Wilner. I'm your co-founder of Business Connects and Business Connects. Whoops! And also at Secretary Central. Business Connects has been connecting and building business relationships since 2018 in Edison, Piscataway, Fanwood, Rahway, and Aberdeen, New Jersey. Since the beginning of COVID, and while we have been sheltered at home, we are still building our business relationships using Zoom as well as other technology on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings at 8:15. So if you are looking to build your business network and build some business relationships with some great entrepreneurs in the central New Jersey area, send us a comment below this video. Reach out to us at businessconnectsnj.com, and we'd love to have you join us. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in Elena, and here she is.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's
Hi.
been a while since we've met on Tuesday.
I know. Long time no see.
I know. No.
How are you? Happy
Very
anniversary for your engagement.
Yes.
I posted.
Fantastic. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
it's time flies, right?
Can celebrate.
I said time flies pretty fast, right?
Time flies. You are not kidding. Yeah. We have to, and it's fun to celebrate all these things.
It is. We did. My husband and I this past weekend celebrated 27 years from our first official date. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. And I love Facebook memories because they get to remind you of these things, you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good stuff. I want to share everybody with the website. So here's Elena. And Elena is a member of our Business Connects. Where are we? Here we are. Of our Business Connects Piscataway group. And at this time, we're actually welcoming all our members, no matter which chapter they may happen to be a member of, to join us on our Zoom calls, whether it's Tuesday from Piscataway, Wednesday from Fanwood, or our Friday meetups that happen in Edison. So here's our website, businessconnectsnj.com. And you can learn about our members and more about Business Connects here. In our directory, if you scroll down, you will find Elena right here. You can also, for ease of viewing, just go to this little magnifying glass right here and type in, hope I don't do any typos with my left hand. Ta-da, there we go. Elena. So if you're not sure how to spell somebody's name or you don't know their last name, you can also use the magnifying glass. Elena's website is Sanchez Associates CPA.com. That's Sanchez Associates CPA.com. So now we're going to go back to the fun part where we chat. There we go. Good stuff. Good stuff. So Elena, tell us a little bit about yourself. Let's let everybody get to know you like I know you.
Well, thank you again for having me today. I think it's great that members and others can get to know me and all the other members on a personal level. Elena Sanchez, like you say. Hello, Parag.
Hey, Parag.
Born and raised here in Garden State, New Jersey. My mother was originally from Argentina, but she came here in late 60s with a family that she was working with. And so she ended up having me here. Didn't know that I was coming along with her, actually. But we were lucky enough. She made good friends with someone giving birth in New Jersey. Uh, and that little girl and I are still friends to this day. She ended up meeting my stepfather, and I was raised here, like I said, my entire life. I just recently met my family from Argentina. I want to say recent, like 18 years ago, 19 years ago, due to the internet. So it's a fabulous story. Sometime, when we have time, we can go over that.
Mm-hmm.
But I was raised with Puerto Rican family, so I was raised in the culture of Puerto Rico. And there is a famous song that says that although I was not born in Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico was born in me, in my heart. And so I had that culture that I share with. And my husband and I actually were planning on celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary coming up in June in Puerto Rico. But unfortunately, due to this whole COVID-19, it's kind of been put on hold. But we'll do it next year. We'll do it later. I'd rather everybody be safe and sound. But yeah, I'm married. I have a senior and a junior in high school at home. I also have an older daughter who is married, and I have two beautiful grandsons. Um,
I didn't know
yes,
that. That's great.
yes. I besides accounting being, my profession and something that I love doing and building relationships, I'm also really passionate about fitness. I don't know if you know this or not,
Mhm.
but I do some competitive training with that. And one of the best moments I had was going on stage and being introduced as not your typical grandmother.
Fantastic. I love it.
So yeah, so my family's been, very supportive of me for doing that as well as for going into business for myself. So yeah, it's been a great journey, and you know, happy to all of us are safe and sound, thank goodness.
Yes, exactly. Safe at home.
Yes,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it's
exactly.
great to know that about you. I
Thank
know
you.
we were having some nutrition conversations and stuff a while back when we had LaRon on. Um,
Exactly.
and we all learned something. I recently learned or was reminded of how much water we need to drink every day.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah, and sitting at these desks, how we're sitting and working. Some people may be not accustomed to working as many hours as they are now. And how much, kind of getting up, and if you wear like a smartwatch or something like that, like listening to it. And
Right.
if you don't wear a smartwatch, LaRon reminded us, put it in your calendar. Get up,
Yeah.
stand up.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if you can, once an hour, if you can get up and stretch and stuff like that, how important it is for us. Because
Yes.
they say the sitting is
Yeah.
the new smoking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've been an accountant for a little over 20 years. And when I gave birth to my son, who is now about to turn 17, I went back to work. And during tax season, we work really long hours. And after giving birth to him and going back to work, I gained, I don't know, maybe around 10 pounds or so. And I was just not myself. I was not happy, comfortable. And everyone's, oh, you're in your 30s. Oh, whatever. It's normal. I was like, no, I'm not happy. So I started going to the gym at lunchtime during
Mm,
work. I was lucky enough, with my schedule. And that was such a great stress reliever, and especially during tax season, to
yeah.
have that break in the day. And it just became a lifestyle habit. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I always was active, but I just made it more part of, a routine.
Absolutely.
And even now I still do that where I'm not a big morning workout person. I like to do in midday, I guess, because I've been doing it, for so long.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's just such a great break in the day. And my watch actually, I shattered my screen, so I got to get it fixed.
Oh,
But yeah, I was the kind that would set my alarm for every hour and like trying to encourage my workers, let's get up, let's do some jumping jacks, let's go up and down the stairs, let's do something because it's a long day and it can get to you both physically and mentally. The
yeah,
days that
absolutely.
that for some reason I couldn't get to the gym or to stretch, literally in the afternoon my back would be hurting, like it was just
Mm-hmm.
not a good day. So thankfully, that's remained with me, and that's still part of my daily structure, and
Yeah,
it just kind of built over time to get a little more,
absolutely. It's
you
so,
know
yeah, it's so important. So
yeah,
important.
yeah.
Um, so, okay, so let's talk let's talk business for a couple minutes.
Sure.
Tell me, so what prompted you to start your business as a CPA?
So, like I said, I've been a CPA since 1999, and I was with a small firm. I actually started with a big firm, KPMG, very shortly, and I found out that that was not the route that I wanted to go. So I went to work for a small firm in New Brunswick, and I absolutely loved it because I learned a little bit of everything. It's not very, when you work for a small firm, you learn all kinds of services. A typical accountant, it's not just taxes. Most people think you just do taxes, and that's a small portion of what we do outside of January through April, you know. But I really love the audit field. So I did a lot of that, and auditing nonprofit organizations kind of became my specialty. I'm always into education. So I stayed on top of the standards and rules that I was changing. So I was doing a lot of engagement, quality control. And I always thought that my future was going to be with this firm because I'd been there for so many years. Some of my clients I'd been working with, up to 15, 18 years.
Wow.
But things were changing in the firm of how it was growing. They didn't kind of want to go with the times of technology. And then they planned the move to go to Route 18 in East Brunswick. And that was all I needed to just kind of give me the push that I needed to say, it's time's up for me. I'm not going to do that,
Sure.
And I actually considered going back to school for a PhD to become a professor for accounting. The AICPA was looking for, so many people are retiring, all the baby boomers. So they're looking for people who have experience, practical experience to teach. So I considered that or going into business for myself. And my husband and I sat down and we had this conversation. Actually, I did a family meeting and discussed the pros and cons and they were very supportive and said, this is something that you like doing. And you have built these relationships. And one of my clients wanted me to do more work for him, travel to Argentina, which is where my mother's family is from. So it was a great opportunity and the push that I needed about 2.5 years ago. And I was very, very lucky in that a big portion of my clients, I barely even had to ask. Like some of them asked me, like, well, wait, where are you leaving? Where are you going? Wherever you go, we go, Like there was no talk about
Fantastic.
fees.
Yeah.
There were no talk about locations. It was just built on the relationships that I had built with them. So I was very, very lucky in that sense. And over, the last 2.5 years, the first thing that I did was I set myself up to work virtually, paperless, and was able to research all the software that's available for cloud, and take advantage of technology.
Yeah.
So that as I brought on members to work with me, I can have them work from home. That was one of the things that they didn't do, and we lost some members because of that. So that was something I wanted to make sure that I set up from the get-go with my business. And to fast forward to these last few months, it worked out perfectly for me. It was seamless, the transition, because I had already set myself up to work virtually and paperless. And my, I can do the Zoom calls, but I was used to doing all of that anyway. Obviously, I have some elderly clients who are not tech savvy. So for them, you know what, it gives me the opportunity to go visit them at their home and even build more of a relationship. So I'm fine with that too. I'm super flexible. So I've been very blessed and very happy with the decision I made, to continue building on the relationships I had, meet new people, and do what I like doing, which is a whole variety of accounting services for my clients. And on top of that, a neighbor of mine reached out to me who is head of continuing education at Union County College and said, you know what, I'm looking for an instructor to teach QuickBooks. And I see your post that, you do QuickBooks. And
Fantastic.
so I got to teach too. So now I do both.
Oh, that's
and I have
great.
that flexibility with my own schedule that I can do both, So it's been wonderful.
So when you're doing your teaching now, you're teaching virtually, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I teach on Saturdays, which is what I did before. And I literally, it's the same time. So from 9:30 to 12:30, we are on a Zoom call. I give assignments. I share my screen. I show them how QuickBooks Online works. I'm certified pro advisor for QuickBooks Online. I give assignments and I check every student's assignment because I can log into their
Mhm.
accounts. And it's so funny because I'm telling them, I'm like, you probably never had an instructor that will like call you out in front of the whole class. Like we go in. So in the beginning, some people were not doing their homework, but now everybody does their homework.
Yeah, yeah. And do you find like the students are they adults, are they business owners, or are they younger? Like,
So I get the whole flux, and that was part of why I wanted to do this because it was good exposure for me as a business owner.
mhm,
Since I'm teaching QuickBooks, that I would get either business owners or people involved. And so I've had, say, bookkeepers who came to the class that their employer sent them, and they may recommend me to their, bosses, for example. I've
mhm.
had business owners who then may follow up with me and say, you know what, I really like, how you work. And because in my class, I can't help it. I'm an accountant. I'm going to teach you some accountant too,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. So,
That's
and some
great.
tax tips and things of that nature. So they would say, you know what, I really like your approach and stuff. Can you help me outside of class?
Mhm.
So yeah, so I've been able to get some referrals for business for that as well. So it's
Fantastic.
been a win-win, and I really enjoy the experience. Of some people it's just they want to get back into the work field and they want to learn a new set of tools, and so they'll ask me for my
Now's the
recommendations.
time.
And it was funny because one of my clients was looking for a bookkeeper, and I thought of someone who was in my class.
Oh, that's
So
fantastic.
it's a great opportunity, to have this access of people as well who may be learning.
Right. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. So we talked about the virtual, and you and I have both been virtual for a long time. I think before a lot of people even knew that you could do so much virtually, right?
right.
Um, how has this new normal that we're dealing with and this new economy, has that affected your business in any way?
It has affected my business in that it reinforced that I was happy, with the decision. And I picked up new clients because maybe a client of mine heard someone complaining, oh, I can't get to my accountant's office or whatever. Or just built on the relationships, that they know me and say, oh, this person can take care of you. And that I can set the secure portal and they feel safe from their home,
Mhm.
that they can send me the documents that they need. I've taught people how to scan from their phones, because they're
I
like,
love
oh, I
it.
don't have a scanner. I don't know how to do that, So I walk them through that. It's little things like that. And with QuickBooks Online, I've been able to work with people and do remote, even do webinars to teach people and to train them as well. So it's afforded me more opportunities, I want to say. Just the fact that people are home and maybe they're thinking more about, you know what, I'm a few years behind on my taxes. Maybe this is the time to go through and get myself organized.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's been
Okay.
something that I've seen as well. And then of course with the PPP, I was able to help a lot of my clients, and
Right.
100% of all the clients that I helped apply got their PPP loans. And now I've just sent out information on the SBA has put out regulations and forms for the forgiveness part. So that's the next step we're going to be working on, is making sure they can get forgiven as much as possible. So that was a big piece that I wasn't expecting. But I pride myself on my relationships that I build with my clients. So it's not just doing their tax returns and they can't call me afterward. They know that at any time that they have a question about anything, that they can reach out to me, whether it's,
Mhm.
whatever's related. And it may be completely unrelated, but with the PPP, was sending out information to people and saying not only are the tax returns extended, but you have these opportunities. And some were contractors, some were self-employed. A nonprofit organization that I work with applied and got it. Um,
Very nice.
so it's been nice to be able to offer these additional services that are not normally done, and,
Mhm.
and build more on the relationship that I already have with them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so important. It's so important. And so building, you're talking about building the relationships, and we work really hard with amongst, the members with Business Connects about building our internal relationships, as well as offering the resources to people that are not a member of Business Connects to introduce our members to them. So I'm glad you said that, because I feel it's really, really, really important. And so if anybody's just joining now, and welcome to our episode with Elena Sanchez of Business Connects Meet the Members. This is our weekly Friday 11 a.m. interview series where you get to just that, meet the members. And Elena is a certified professional accountant, CPA, as well as a QuickBooks advisor and teacher virtually.
Yes.
Virtually at Union County College. And this is all happening in New Jersey. So if you're watching us outside of New Jersey, that's okay, because Elena, you are licensed in multiple states, right? As a CPA?
Right. I have reciprocity with other states. I have clients in New York and Pennsylvania. I have clients that I do QuickBooks work for all over the states, because that's a platform that I can, do virtually,
Right.
I have clients that live down in Florida. I have some that travel. So I have on my calendar, from this month to this month, they're here and then they're there. So yeah, I'm able to work with clients from all over the place. And one year I did a tax return from Canada. So I had to learn how to do that.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah.
Yeah, totally different. But yeah, and I do multi-state returns. So some businesses, they may be located physically here in New Jersey, but they sell to many other states. So you actually have to file tax returns in different states, and some clients don't know that when they start out. They're like, oh, I got a client in New York. And then I have to remind them, okay, well, we need to register for you to have a presence in New York and collect sales tax and file income. And they're like, oh, we didn't know all that.
Right. So you're giving them some guidance in addition to, just kind of plugging in the numbers. So many people don't realize how much is involved when working with the CPA.
Exactly. And like one of my clients, I kind of got a heads up from the bookkeeper that she was going to be giving notice. She was having some health issues, and I knew he was going to panic. So she told me, like, on a Friday evening, she told me, I'm going to tell him Monday. And it gave me the weekend to kind of plan, to be prepared. And so when he reached out to me in a panic on Monday, I already had a plan in place. And I said, not to worry. This is what we're going to do. And because I know him, he's a busy businessman. He's out making sales calls, doing other things. He doesn't have the time or the patience to deal with all this, So I offered to screen candidates for him. I spent about 3 days interviewing different people. We narrowed it down. And then I sat with him and I told him I didn't have to be involved with the interview, but he was like, no, I want you to, because you know what I need, So we sat down and interviewed the final 4 candidates and chose someone together. So that was like a whole different project that people don't normally think of, that CPAs truly are business partners, and he told, you're not only an accountant, but you're more like a consultant and somebody, a business partner to us, and I enjoy that. I enjoy being able to help my clients and to come up with solutions and,
that's great.
And look out for them,
Yeah, I agree. That's important. And so with QuickBooks, I understand. So I have like QuickBooks on my desktop, and you work with QuickBooks Online, but can you help somebody who does not have QuickBooks Online?
Yep.
Okay.
Actually, one of my certifications with QuickBooks Online, to be a pro advisor, there's different levels. So I do have one of the desktop certifications. When I was at my other firm, on my screen top, I had QuickBooks 06, 07, 08, 09, because as you know, desktop changes every year. And one of the problems was that it wouldn't work from one year to the other. Like, it couldn't go backwards. And if you went forward, you couldn't send the material to your clients backwards. So I had to have every software for every year. With QuickBooks Online, you don't have to deal with that, because it's always current or whatever. But I am very familiar because of all the years of working with desktop. And I still have a handful of clients who prefer the desktop because they don't need, all the bells and whistles of online. They don't want the added cost.
Right.
So yeah, and then now, especially with Zoom and sharing the screen, I can still do training and help them, with that. So
Yeah, that's so important, right? And somebody can
yeah, right,
send you their file through like
exactly,
Loom or something like that, and walking them
right.
through it. So a
So
lot.
the newer versions of QuickBooks that's have a feature called Accountant's Copy. So with
Right.
like a click, you can send an accountant's copy to your accountant, and you can still work on yours while they work on
Mm-hmm.
theirs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I
Very
want to say
helpful.
in like 2016, 17, it started being offered. So it's been around for a little bit.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So, Elena, what are your thoughts on keeping up with your daily routine, and how that has helped your business?
So I've always been a pretty disciplined person. Um, Meaning that like when I set myself up for something and I like to plan out my week, whatever, and not necessarily to the point of, writing goals for 5 years or all that kind of stuff. No, but as far as a weekly plan, I schedule it out my day. I have a calendar that I like to use. And it's funny because my calendar, I use the computer a lot, but I like to have it written in front of me. And my calendar has both daily goals and fitness goals on it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and it has a little water checkbox that you can track the water.
Ah, so like, concept.
Yeah, yeah. So every day I write out what I'm going to do and I schedule it kind of like by time. I schedule a daily workout for myself and that time frame. And it's kind of like an appointment that I have with a client. Making myself a priority is important because I can't be of any use to my clients, to my family, to anybody if I don't take care of myself.
Absolutely.
So for my sanity and my physical and mental health, I schedule that every day, and I use the same calendar to kind of schedule for the week, so I know and I can book time ahead. So if I tell a client, I can work on your books, I'm going to schedule it for this time. It gives us time for me to request the information, get the information, and I dedicate, whatever number of hours I think I need for them. Like I said, I try to be honest with my clients and make them priorities, and know that I can get back to them and keep my promises to them.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way I can do that is by keeping a schedule. And
Absolutely.
and of course I have some flexibility with that schedule, so that if something comes up, I can take care of it. But it's important for me to have a calendar, and even before this whole COVID-19, I mean, I've always been that way. But even I would put in my calendar, and I would do it maybe over the weekend, scheduling my workout for the week so I know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm doing, and scheduling time for even my friends. Like I would schedule once a week a walk with a girlfriend to go to the park and walk, or to work out once a week with her,
Mm-hmm.
or another family member. When my daughter first had her daughter, we would have a weekly yoga session at home, at her house. So like I've always tried to incorporate these things, just to have you have to make priorities, for your friends, for your family, for your work, to be able
Yes.
to have a balanced life. And I truly believe in that, and trying to live as balanced, healthy life. Work is not all just, I mean, life is not just about work. You have to, do something that you like, but you want to be able to share that with other people. So I think it's important to incorporate everything, and that scheduling and keeping a routine, I think
Mm-hmm.
is
I
important,
agree.
especially during these times. Like I hear of that, of people saying, we're Netflix binging or this or that. And I'm like,
Right.
like you should be, a little productive. My
Right.
my
Right.
oldest daughter still, she writes notes because she learned from me. Like every time, my husband sometimes says that I try to do too much in a day because like sometimes I'll time it like by time, from 8 to 8:30 I'm doing this, from 9 to 11 I'm doing this, whatever. But it gets things done,
Yeah,
and,
absolutely. Absolutely. And then if you
so
realize that something you have so much blocked in one course of one day, then something might need to move to the next day. But
right.
it's such a great way to remember the things that you have to do.
Exactly.
No, I completely agree. And then you're not stressed about what do I have to do. So
Exactly. I lose sleep over that. If I don't write it down,
yeah,
I'll lose sleep because I'm thinking about everything that I need to do. And, and I don't like that. So if something pops into my mind, even if it's a personal thing that I need to do, I'll write it down on the same calendar, so I have a section for, business, priorities of calls or meetings or
mhm,
anything, things that I want to do for work, and then personal things that I need to catch up on. And, if things pop up in my mind, I'll write it down. Maybe I'll schedule it for like my Friday or for something, but I'll write it down to have that peace of mind to be able to
sure.
sleep and not worry about it or stress about it.
Right, right. So many people say, keep that notepad on your night table or something like that.
Right.
And if you can't turn a light on, if you have a smartphone, sometimes I'll just go on it and just tell it. I'm not going to tell it right now because it'll wake up, but say those magic words to make it wake up. But if you have a stylus, you can pull out the stylus, and sometimes if you have a stylus on your phone, I'll pull out a stylus and just kind of scribble. And now I'm left hand enabled. So I'm learning how to write with my left hand, and I'm learning my own shorthand.
Aw.
It's been fun. I'll just leave it
Aw.
at that. It's been fun. My calendar is not as active right now, but Google Calendar has been hugely important because I can voice dictate into it.
Oh, very nice. Yeah,
So
I use my
learning all kinds
calendar
of
on my phone, and
productivity
I try
tips.
to use the phone count. I use on my phone the calendar just to keep track of both personal and business, just so that they don't collide. A lot of
Right,
times, the nice thing about working for yourself and doing things is that you can, schedule, the kids' activities or
right,
whatever, and then
right.
still take care of everything. So I find that just having it all in one place,
Mhm.
helps me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're going to wrap it up. We got one more question,
Okay.
and then we'll wrap it up, and we'll share your website again. So, would you touch on what your involvement with Business Connects has been like, and how it's impacted your business in this past as long as you've been with us?
Yeah. So one of the things that I did when I first was looking to get into business was I was kind of afraid because for over, almost 20 years, all of our clients came to us from referrals. We never advertised. And when I went off on my own, like I said, I did I was lucky to have some clients come with me, but I was like, I'm not a sales rep. Like, how am I going to meet people and get
Mhm.
the word out? And I went to the New Jersey SBDC and I met Shomu.
Yay.
And yeah, he's a member of Business Connects. And he said to me, he goes, you don't need to waste your time on a lot of advertising or a lot of marketing. What you need to do for your profession, he goes, just like you just said, is go out and meet people in business owners and things in your community and build on those relationships. In other words, network. And I had never had to do that before. But as my own business owner, I needed to get out there. And so he recommended Business Connects in Piscataway. And I went, and it was so neat. I didn't even know so many networking groups existed actually
Mhm.
prior to this. And so I learned of another one that I'm still involved with, which is actually your husband was helping to start up that BNI
Yes.
chapter. Um, and that chapter didn't start up, but a group of us still continue. We're pretty close to, getting to charter that. So
Oh,
we've been
cool.
growing and networking. And so getting to meet other business professionals, especially in my community, has been absolutely great. It gives me the opportunity to, like I said, with my business and my relationship with my clients, I like to be able to say, if they come to me and say, I'm having a really hard time with my insurance broker. Do you know of anyone that you can recommend? You
Mm,
know, or I'm going to sell, my property. Do you know of a realtor? Or I need a loan. Do you know a banker? So they talk to me about these things, and I
sure.
love to be able to have people that I trust and I've gotten to know over time to say, yeah, sure. talk to this person, talk to that person, and I've been able to build relationships with a lot of members from Business Connects as well as my other referral. Not only that, but what's really neat is as I was meeting new clients in Piscataway, particularly because I go to the Tuesday meeting in Piscataway, I would say, you're a local business owner, are you interested in networking? Have you heard of Business Connects? So I would invite them to come meet you guys, to meet the group and meet me in person, kind of all at one fell swoop. So it was a very nice business opportunity for me as well to introduce them, give them the exposure, that they came with a guest.
Sure.
And I love that it's informal enough that, there's not all these rules and there's not, the things that someone can be comfortable to come in, get to know people, talk a little bit about their business. And it's a great opportunity to get to know people, and yeah. And so I still invite people via Zoom when I meet them because I tell them the same thing.
Right. Now, there's not really any reason why you can't join us unless you have another call at 8:15.
Exactly. So it's been a wonderful experience, and I really, it's been wonderful meeting a lot of the people. And one or two have actually, reached out to me and said, can you take care of my taxes, and so I've done that. So it's been a great opportunity.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, we are glad that Shomo told you about us. So thank you, Shomo, if you're watching. And okay, so we're going to go
my gym in the background
back to your website. So just in case you guys, anybody that's still watching or that's new watching, this is episode 10 of Meet the Members from Business Connects with Elena Sanchez as our member guest today. And Elena's website is Sanchez Associates, CPA.com. And here on her website, you can find out all about her services, some resources, and her website is bilingual. So if that's something that you need, or somebody who needs a CPA, as well as a certified, I want to say it the right way, QuickBooks advisor.
Pro advisor.
Yep. Then Elena is your gal to talk to. Mm-hmm. And as we are going to wrap up this session of Meet the Members, this is courtesy of Business Connects, and you can find us online at businessconnectsnj.com. And check out our website and meet some of our members. Please click through to read their blogs. They work very hard on their articles to promote their businesses, and lots of information there. So we will see you again next Friday at 11 a.m. for Business Connects Meet the Members, here live stream to Facebook, courtesy of StreamYard. And also you'll find us on YouTube. So Elena, thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you here. And I
thank you for having me
Tuesday.
Yes.
And everybody, come check out Business Connects and reach out to Elena. There are comments through Facebook, so feel free to ask Elena a comment. If you're watching this through either Business Connects or Secretary Central, you can respond to any of the comments, and we'll make sure that Elena sees them. So thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay home, stay safe, stay 6 feet apart, whatever it is that you need to do or wherever it is that you're going. And we look forward to seeing you in person very, very soon. And that's a wrap.
Thank you.